Okay, this is the second video of the OSPF routing protocols. Yesterday we have knocked out the first video. There was a basic fundamental we covered yesterday. Today I am going to cover the few of the OSPF things, which will be the OSPF authentication, OSPF authentication. Okay, the first one is OSPF authentication. The second is number 2, OSPF virtual link. Number 3, OSPF LSA 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, 5 and number 4, OSPF summarization, route summarization. My first topic will be the OSPF authentications, and second is the OSPF virtual links and OSPF LSA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is a 6 also there, 7 also there, 8 also there, 9 also there, 10 also there, up to 11 also there. But the most commonly in the CCNP level and CCSM is wider levels, okay. In the OSPF topics we cover up to 7. Remaining other, okay, the 6 is a different type of the LSA, 7 is also LSA, and 8 is the multicasting, 9, 10, 11 is a OSPF of QLSA. The of QLSA is I will cover in the MPLS traffic engineering topics, okay, for the advanced configurations. But today, just try to understand the OSPF LSA 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then after I will cover the OSPF virtual links. The virtual links can be done by two methods. The first method is a GRE method, and second is a known GRE method. Known GRE means the linking the remote area without creating the GRE tunnels. Authentications, and the authentication, there is a two type of authentication. The first type of the authentication is what? OSPF process level authentication, and second is interface level authentications. Process level authentication and interface level authentications, two types of authentications. Virtual links, two types, LSA up to 5. Root summarizations, okay, there is two types of the root summarizations, ASBR summarization, ABR summarizations, okay. What summarization? ABR summarization, ASBR summarizations, and prefix list and filter list. And then after number 5, the OSPF over Ethernet and watch, okay, serial links. Number 6, OSPF, okay, network types. Let's try to knock out up to 1 to 6 today, okay. These are the intermediate level up to OSPF knowledge, OSPF studies for the CCIE routing and switching as well as the CCIE service providers, okay. After completing these topics, we can forward or we can move toward the advanced level OSPF configurations. Clear? Now let's go with the OSPF, first OSPF authentication. Before going to OSPF authentication process, authentications, okay, let me show the my topology for today. This is my topology, okay. This R1 is here, This is my R1 routers, and R1, R2 and R3. These three routers belongs to the OSPF 1 area 0, and the 7 is belongs from the area EIGRP as well as OSPF. Okay, EIGRP, 7 is EIGRP, and 6 is the RIP versions 2, and 3 and 4 is the OSPF area 4, and 4 and 5 is the OSPF area 45. Clear? So before going to enabling the EIGRP 77, RIP versions 2 and OSPF area 45 and area 44, let me configure the first OSPF area 0. This will be the backbone area for the OSPF networks. Okay, same as yesterday. Just open the notepad, and then after R1 router OSPF 1, simple router ID. I'm going to put the router ID 00001 for R1, and interface S0/0 IP OSPF 1 area 0. Interface same as interface loopback 0. Interface F0/0 IP OSPF 1 area 0. The first OSPF interface S0/0 is connected with the R2, and I think the F0/0 is R3 with the R3, right? Now there is a one more the interface in the R1, that is a logic interface loopback 0. Okay, go on the loopback 0. Let's go on the loopback 0. Interface loopback 0 IP OSPF 1 area 0. This is the R1 configurations. Jitu, are you there? Jitu?
Sir.
By getting my point today?
Yes, sir.
Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Okay. If there's any issue, then okay, message me. Okay, by the our the communications channel, that is a Zoom. Okay, you can message me. No problem. Mute from your side. Okay, don't rise the noise from your side. Okay, so be aware of the noise. So I have, okay, we can write down the configuration of the R1 side. So for R1, route to OSPF 1 means enabling the OSPF with the process ID 1, and it is router ID 0001, interface S0/0, and enabling the OSPF under the interface S0/0, enabling the interface, okay, OSPF and loopback 0. Let's copy it and paste it on R1 side. Oh, do one thing, config take IP address is already there, no issue for IP address. Do show IP OSPF interface. Check the OSPF interface. S0/0 is okay. F0/0, where is the F0/0? This one is F0/0 and loopback 0. The only one single command is there, which can help you to know actually which interface is enabled by the OSPF process. OSPF. Clear? Default setting is okay. There is no neighbor till now, so IP OSPF neighbor. There's no neighbor. And don't forget one thing is here. Let me on my pen. Where is my pen? This is my pen. Okay. Here this side pane. This is my one interface which belongs to the OSPF, right? This area 0. But this interface belongs to the either PPP or SDLC. Where is that? Or SDLC. It means OSPF LLC exchange and this type of topology directly. Means this type of network is called in the OSPF P2P. But in this side, the different links. The links is what? ARPA. Link type is a ARPA. As you can say, enabling is the same as like the enabling the OSPF in the lane networks. And lane network normally they have based on the broadcast base. So this type of is called broadcast. In the broadcast topology, one OSPF router will be the DR routers, and other routers will be the DR other and BDR. So here's the R1 site is already configured at the OSPF on this interface, and now I have to configure the OSPF on this side, and then after the election process will be start. No problem. The routers having the highest priority value. What? Highest priority value. Highest interface priority value. The router having the highest interface priority value, OSPF interface priority value, side the routers will be the DR, elected as a DR routers in the broadcast topology. Clear? By default, the interface F0/0 and gig0/0 or any other type of the ARPA interface normally comes with the priority value 1 by default. It means on my R1 side, in this side, when you enable the OSPF on this interface, priority value comes 1. And this side also by default priority value comes 1 with the OSPF enabling process. So they tie off. There is there is equal priority value between the R1 side and R3 side. So first steps of the competitions or elections process is not able to elect as a DR router between the R1 and R3. The second step is a router ID, RID. The routers having the highest router ID will be the DR routers. Simple. Only two process will be taken during the DR and BDR election process. The first is the priority value and second is the router ID. Now let's go on R3 side. Here in R3, same is configure terminal interface S0/0. Oh no, interface S0/0. First router OSPF 1, router ID 0/0/0.02 interface gig F0/0. The one thing in the examinations, in the examination you will see the gig 0/0 or E0/0 in the live examinations, not F0/0. So the little changes between the classrooms interface or your GNS interface and examination interface, you should maintain by yourself. Interface F0/0, interface F0/0, then after IP OSPF what? 1 area what? because R1 site is already in area 0, and now R3 site also okay came in the area 0. That is same area ID, same subnet max, okay, and no authentication systems, and hello time and hold time is also okay, equal between the R1 and R3. That means neighbor 6 should be the successfully okay get ups. Let's 6 the neighborship. Do so IP OSPF neighbor. And I am the DR. Why my authorized is 0.0.0.0.3 is the okay big router ID or highest router ID than R1 site router ID. Clear? I can clearly see 0.0.0.1 is my neighbor routers, which is the R1, right? And priority value is 1. Let's see the priority value on R1 side. So IP OSPF neighbor, same priority value 1, no issue. Okay, there is no problem. But I am the what? BDR. The state of the neighborship is what? In full state. Full state means fully LS exchange mode state. Down state, initial stage, exit stage, exchange state, and then up to full state. So loading state and full state, right? I'm full state. The date time is 34. It is on 40 up to highest date time is the 40. If there is a no neighborship responded by the other neighbors up to 40 seconds, then okay date masses will be generated from the routers by routers. And address of the remote router is what? 3.2, and this interface is going to connect with the to the what? R3. Simple. Everything is here. You can check on the routing table also. So IP route .0 is directly connected via this interface. You can check the SAC table also. So IP SAC 13.0 or 13.2 is this one, and my next hop is this, and physical interface is this. Clear? Or you can check in the this way also. So CDP neighbors, check the neighborship. R3 is going to connect with the F0/0. Hold time is this RSI, this. But to run the CDP neighbors command, both of the interface should be up. If the interface is in down state on the both sides, then you cannot see the neighbor routers. So don't forget to shut off the interface before the running the show CDP neighbor command. This is a very useful command in the real life. Clear? Interface loopback 0, IP OSPF 1, area 0. Interface S0/0. I think this S0/0 which is connected to R2. Yes. IP OSPF 1, area 0. OSPF. Do so IP OSPF neighbors. On R2, right? Let's go on R2. Interface S0/, first router OSPF 1, router ID 2, interface S0/0, IP OSPF 1, area 1, 0. Area ID should be matched, okay, within the area. Interface F0/, I think it's S0/1, IP OSPF 1, area 0. OSPF. Oh, this is the one of the issue. The duplicate router ID is found out from the what 192.23.2. 23.2 is what? Which router? I think this one, right? It's 23.1 and 23.2. I have to fix it. The router ID is not locally significant ID. Router ID should be the unique. Okay? Router ID should be the what? Unique. So I'm not able to neighbor, okay, between the R2 and R3. Do through IP OSPF neighbor. So what to do? I have to change the router ID either on R2 or R3. R3. Let's go to R3 side where I did put the what 0002 router ID. You can see here. I have to replace I have to change the 002 by the 003. And one thing, I cannot change the router ID directly. Router ID, what? Because OSPF is in process. Okay, if there is in process in the OSPF, if OSPF is in process, then we cannot change the router ID directly. What to do? You have to reset your process to change the router ID. How to reset? It is very clear, simple command. Do clear IP OSPF what? Process. Then immediately do the yes, and then immediately put the router ID. Simple. So changing the router ID and during the OSPF process, you have to reset your session, OSPF sessions, your neighbor sessions, or your OSPF sessions. And during the session, okay, the 40 seconds time will be the text to become the neighborship with the other routers. And that period, you can put your new router ID. Otherwise, we cannot, OSPF block, OSPF prevent you to change the router ID during the OSPF session process. Clear? So let's check the neighborship now. So IP OSPF neighbors. I have the two neighbors. The first neighbor is with the what? 23.1, which is R1, and second is the what? 23.1 is not R1, it's R2. Okay, and 13.1 is my R1 routers. This is the broadcast topology, broadcast network, OSPF broadcast network, and this one is the point-to-point networks. Or you can check this way also. So IP OSPF what? Interface S0/0 should come to as a what? Point-to-point. COSI 64. What is a COSI 64 means? It's a metric of the OSPF. Or you can check this way also. So IP OSPF interface F0/0. It's a broadcast networks. Clear? Now, how the OSPF normally create the routing tables, okay, after successfully establishing the neighborship in the area. Let me write down the what? Routing table of the OSPF. Let me choose one of the color. Let's choose this color. C means connected with my routers. Okay, so I'm not going to write down as a connected networks. I'm only going to write down the networks which are comes from the OSPF advertisement or OSPF networks. The first is O means OSPF networks within the area networks. 1.0.0.0./8 bit. By default, it comes with the 32 bit. Comes via through the what? 192.1.12.1. Clear? Same way, O 3.0.0.0.0.32 via what? 192.1.23.2. Clear? First one is this one and second one is this one. The two networks normally will be installed by the R2. this one. I didn't wrote the all of this, okay, cost, other things, date and time, loan time, other things. Okay, I just wrote down as a only the root and via, and then after interface also you can write down this way. With the via interface what? S0/0 12.1, and the second was interface S0/1, and then after you can write another time, okay, long time, right? So let's see the routing table of the ALTO to verify, okay, whether this this type of the routing table will install or not, okay, or install or not already in R2. Let's go on R2. This is my R2, and let's check the routing table of the R2. SOIP OSPF SOIP route, simple command. 0 and 3. Okay, one more, okay, network is different networks here. That is the what? This network. This is connected with the what? Let me use my pen. This is connected with my myself routers, and this is my connected with myself routers, and this is a different network for me, right? So this network should be also, okay, installed via OSPF, because this is the different networks, and I am not connected with this network directly. If the my link is here to here, directly from here to here, then no issue. If there is a switch here, then no issue. This also, okay, come with the connected, but here there is a no direct link from R2 to this network. So this route, okay, should be come from the OSPF advertisement. That means this route also should install this way. Clear? Understood? Okay, let's write down as this one. Same as duplicate O, same way, and what? 192.1.13.0/24 via what? There is two media, two links to reach the what? 222. It means it will be the load balancings, because the distance from the R2 to R1 and R2 to R3 is equal, and same type of the links. Two links. The first is what? S0/0, and second is what? S0/1. Let's check on the R2 documents. So I route this. You can, okay, specify the your OSPF routing table by this way, OSPF. Just do the OSPF 1.1.1.1.1 32-bit. Subnet AD value 1110, and 64 is the my distance or my cost of the OSPF, and 1 is the loopback cost, right? Loopback cost means the cost from the router to loopback is 165. Total cost from here to what? Here. This is my this will be my 64 cost. 64 cost over 64. And the loopback is 1. So 1 cost is 1. 65. Here to here also 64, and same is here up to here is 1. 65. This also will be installed here 65 with the cost 65, and from R3 to R2 distance also, okay, mentioned in the routing table 65. Both are 65. Clear? So what is the cost of the R2 to what? This networks. 64 cost is already, okay, up to here to here its cost is 64, right? And then what is the cost of the fast Ethernet? 100 MB, 100 upon the what? Bandwidth is what? 10 means 10 what? 10. 64 plus what? 10 plus equal to what? 74. I think it's 74. Okay, see on our outgoing table, 74. This is the, okay, 100 Mbps links, I know about it, but by default this interface links state in the 10 Mbps. I have to take it. So 64 cost and 64, what is the cost of this one? 10. Clear submission? Then 64 into 10, 74, and up to R22 loopback of the R1 is a what? 65. R2 to R3 loopback is what? Total cost 65. That means the cost will be installed here in the routing table as a 64, 65 and 74. Clear? So what is the cost? Cost means the calculation of the OSPF mechanism, so OSPF techniques. Cost 100 upon the bandwidth in Mbps. Simple to remember. It's very easy to remember. 100 upon the what? Bandwidth in what? Bandwidth in what? Mbps. Not Gbps, not kilobytes, not okay bps. What? Bandwidth in Mbps equal to cost. Simple. Or in the raw format, in raw formula, in a books you can see, okay, as a this way, that's way. The way is what? Cost equal to 10 to the power 8 upon the bandwidth in the bps. 10 to the power 8 upon bandwidth in bps. But converting the 10 to the power 8 bps to mbps, okay, by dividing the bps to mbps, okay, comes with the comes this okay numbers. I mean 100 numbers comes. Okay, if you divide the bps in the mbps. Simple. So it's very easy to remember in the OSPF. 100 upon the bandwidth in mbps, because mbps is very commonly used what? Bandwidth in the interface, right? bps is a very difficult to remember. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, the bps was very popular unit. Like in the current time, the Nepal, the 4 ana, 8 ana, 1 rupee is very difficult to remember, difficult to call. But in the 20 years ago, 30 years ago, the 4 ana was a very popular unit of the money, right? Same here, right? Like slowly the only 1,000 is a very easy to call, okay? And after 20 years, the lakh will be the easy to call as the unit of our currency, right? Same here, the 30 years ago, it is very easy to call the BPS. But in current time, it is very complex. It is very difficult to call the BPS, okay? And remember also BPS. Because the interface speed is already rise, okay, increased. It's in very huge numbers. We cannot call in the BPS in the interface numbers. 1000 BPS, 10,000 BPS. It is very difficult. So I personally suggest you to remember the OSPF matrix calculations way is this formula. Don't forget this formula. 10 cost equal to 100 upon the bandwidth in Mbps. You should divide by your interface bandwidth to 100, and any numbers, okay, or any remainder value comes, that will be the cost of the OSPF. Clear? If the cost of the OSPF comes to equal from the two paths, then automatically OSPF perform the load balancing. If the cost comes to different, then the lowest cost, having the lowest cost route, okay, will be the best path of the OSPF from the your router to destination network, right? Clear, Kanaji? And the cost is used for the selecting the best path. If there is a single path, then no issue of the cost. Because there is only one path is remaining, only one path is there to come from the destination to our routers, then no issue. But if the questions comes, if the scenarios okay, create this, that's why, like there is a 2 path or 3 path or 20 path is there, then which path will be the best to come destination to your office? For that, the cost is theirs. And cost normally allow you to ability to, okay, select the best path, select or change the path to destination to your routers, not your router to destination, okay? It is destination to your router. Here also, okay, this is you, your destination is this one. Clear? Understood, Kanalji? And the why loopback cost is 1. Why? As we know, the loopback normally holds the large number of the bandwidth. Let's see the bandwidth of the loopback cost. To be clear, so interface LO0 means loopback 0. The bandwidth of the loopback is what? I think 80 lakhs. In Nepali, it's called the lakhs, right? Lakhs. 1, 10, 100, 1000, 80 lakhs. It is roughly 800 Mbps. And OSPF theory, in the OSPF theory, okay, after 100 Mbps, any bandwidth comes, then cost will be the 1. If there is a 10,000 Mbps bandwidth is there in the interface, then cost comes the 1. There is a no formula to calculate the bandwidth, then upper level of the 100 Mbps, sorry, 1000 Mbps, right? 100 Mbps bandwidth is also 1. If there is a 1000 Mbps bandwidth, there is also 1 cost. If 10,000 bandwidth, then there is also 1. But OSPF V3 means newer OSPF normally allow you to weight level of the matrix. I will cover, how the newer version of the OSPF allow you the weight level matrix. But this OSPF normally allow you to up to 100 Mbps. If there is 100 Mbps, then bandwidth cost is 1. 10,000 Mbps, then cost is 1. 2000 Mbps, then the cost is 1. No, Vishula. Kanalji, clear? What would be the cost, Kanalji, if the bandwidth is 10 lakhs Mbps? 1. If 100 Mbps there, then 1. If 10 Mbps there, then 10. Okay, cost will be the 10. Cost comes to 10, right? Very easy. You should aware with the cost. And you should also aware with the how to change the cost. Okay, the bandwidth is not actual bandwidth of the internet. Don't be confused. Okay, this bandwidth is not internet bandwidth. This is the bandwidth. Okay, this is the bandwidth of the interface. That is the internet bandwidth. Okay, internet bandwidth is a different type of the bandwidth. This is the different type of bandwidth. This is the interface bandwidth, not internet bandwidth. If your routing table is forwarding or moving or selecting the best path based on the internet, then there is no responsibility for you in the networks. If everything is guided by the internet speed. So this is not internet bandwidth, this is the interface bandwidth. It's a virtual bandwidth. To allow the ability for the administrators to tuning the route in the OSPF, right? Kanalji, clear? And you can change the cost. You can reduce the, not cost, bandwidth. You can reduce the bandwidth also. If you reduce the bandwidth, then cost comes to high. If you, If you reduce the bandwidth, then cost comes to high. This way. Let me, reduce the bandwidth. Right now, From R2 to this networks is 64 and 10 is what? 74. From this side also 64 and 10 is what? Total cost what? Write down on the notepad. R2 to what? R2 plus R1 equal to what? To destination, DST network equal to what? Cost is what? 64 and 74, right? Same R2 plus R3 equal to destination networks equal to what? 74. Clear? That means if the equal cost comes from the same to two different route, two different media, two different links, then automatically OSPF perform the load balancing. And default load balancing is round robin load balancing. Let me change the cost. Let me change the bandwidth. Let me reduce the bandwidth. How to reduce the bandwidth for the R2? Let's go on R2 first. I'm going to an R2. Here the same type of the network is here. Same type of media is serial media and serial media. Okay. So the bandwidth is equal right now. Let me change the bandwidth here. But I am not changing the actual bandwidth, okay? You have to change the what? OSPF bandwidth. How to change? SWIP OSPF interface. Your cost is what? By default 64. For which links? SQL/1. For SQL/0 also what? Bandwidth 64. The both side of the links bandwidth, cost is 64. So let's change the cost. Interface S0/0 IP OSPF network cost IP OSPF cost. Then after you can set the cost according to your requirement. If you want the more cost, then you can put the one more cost. If you want the less cost, then you can specify the less cost. For me, I'm going to reduce the cost. Let's say it's 10 cost. 10 means from R2 to R1, the cost is going to be changed with the 10 value, right? Here also already 10. 10 what? 20 and 64 and 10 is 74. It means from this side, this route install on the R2 with the cost 20. Clear? From this side to this R2, I mean this networks will be installed by this way with the cost is what? Same cost. That is the default cost 64 plus 10 74. The cost with the lower value is the best path to the destinations. It means obviously any traffic originating for this network from R2 must be go or should be go this way, not this way, because less cost is here from this way, not this way, right? Let's check on R2. The cost is different. It means it should not be load balancing. Load balance 10 10 20. But here is the default, right? Let's go on R2. This is my R2. Let's check the cost. So IP OSPF interface. This cost is R2 to R3 64. Same as the past. The interface cost from R2 to R3 is what? Cost is 10. That means 10 10 20 and 64 plus 10 is 74. It means the path from the R2, R1 and R3. R2, R1 side is the best, then R2, R3 and destinations. Clear? So routing table should be installed as a, this will be the remove. This path will be the remove to these destinations. Why? It has the more cost, higher cost than R1 side path. So this will be the remove from the routing table. There is already the best path from this way. S0 links. Let's see. So IP what? Route OSPF. I can see the only one path. 20. I hope you all guys is very clear to calculating the cost in the OSPF networks. Finally, did you understand? So what is the cost in the OSPF? How to tune the cost? Clear, bro? Something clear? Okay, let's study all the routing table. Okay, once. So IP route, copy it and paste it. Copy it and open the notepad. Paste it. So IP route means you want to see the routing table of the local routers. Codes means the indications. C means connected. Connected means the network which is connected with your local routers. S means statics, R means RAID, M means mobiles, B means BGP. Okay, you all guys, you can understand this course. I'm not going to say anymore, right? So gateway of the last is not set, means there is no default gateway in the OSPF networks. Gateway is empty. It means if the users wants to go to any networks, that network doesn't belong with the or that network does not exist on the routing table, forward towards the null-zero interface. Route immediately forward to the null-zero interface. Why? The default gateway is not set in the routers. Clear? This means that this is the router is unknown. He is not aware. Actually, where is the routers where I can get the other networks? Where is the routers? Which router help me to go on other router, right? Okay, I have only the routing table information here up to here, from here to here. It's okay, no problems. My router can forward. But if the network generate or expectation of the users generate which doesn't belongs with this routing table, then immediately router takes the actions or his traffic normally forward towards the loopback null-zero interface. You can see on the router also, no problem. Let me see. So IP what? Save. It means if the traffic comes on my routing table or on my routers that doesn't belongs with my routing table entry, then I immediately forward to the null-zero interface. A null-zero interface is the recycle bin of the router, one of the interface of the router, logical interface of the routers, which is normally used for the dropping the unwanted network traffics, and also used for the different purpose also, but I will discuss about that later. And I'll already discuss about that in the CCIE routing switching also. It's a null-zero. Clear? If you give if you set the default default gateway on the routers, then it will immediately remove. Okay, if 00 comes, then your default gateway IP address will be set here and here also. It will remove from here this entry. First, any traffic came in the routers, the router will check on the SAF table, not routing tables. On the behalf of the SAF tables, the routing table will take the decisions, not on the basis of the routing table. Okay, so layer 2 entry. It's a layer 2 entry. Okay, engines. First, he checks on his SAF table. On the basis of the SAF table, on the behalf of the SAF table's informations, routing table will be created. Routing table will be built on the routers. Okay. So let's go on the same information. The information is this. Gateway of the last issue is not set. Means there is no default gateway set yet by the administrators. Clear? C is connected. This is connected on the interface S0/0, and this information came from the OSPF, where it's showing is 32-bit because it's a loopback IP address, and loopback is treated as a stop up in the OSPF. It's intelligence of the OSPF. OSPF can understand the loopback as a loopback. So he ensures as a loopback is the 32-bit host, is like a host. So he normally advertise the loopback as a 32-bit network, a 32-bit host. O means OSPF root, 111 means the loopback, 1110 means AD value. Okay, and this is the your cost of the OSPF via this IP address, and this is the time, learning time, and this interface. Clear? This value is used for the selecting the routing tables, selecting the protocols. Metric or this value used for the selecting the best path. So it's a completely different thing. Okay, AD value used for the routing table, routing protocols. If there is multiple routing protocols enabled in the routers, then which routing protocol is best, that is selected, that is decided by the AD value. If there is a multiple path is there to go to destination, to reach the destinations, then cost or metric will be used for the selecting the best path to the destinations. If EIGRP also is there, visuals is there, then EIGRP will be the best protocol for these routers, because EIGRP has a less AD value than OSPF and BGP. Clear? So first one means AD value used for the selecting the routing protocols, to select the best routing protocol if there is a multiple routing protocols enabled on the routers. And second one means cost is used for the selecting the best path in the networks if the multiple path is there. If there is single path, then no use of the matrix. Clear? This is also OSPF. This is also OSPF. This is also OSPF networks. Second thing is what? Second topic is OSPF authentications. Authentication means a concept of the securing your peering. By default, anybody can come in your networks, in your topology, and he can set the same class of the IP address, which IP address is already on your router's interface, and he can himself advertise as he is also OSPF member, he is also OSPF speaking router, he also belongs to the same router ID, and he can also create a neighborship with your routers. To prevent the establishing neighborship by other guys, unknown guys, what you can do? You can set the authentication on the routers. After configuring authentication on the routers, then only the routers having the correct user ID or correct key or correct authentication types can establish the neighbors with your routers. Otherwise, he or she cannot create the neighborship with your routers. So there is two things you have to remember on the authentications. The first thing is OSPF authentication type, and second is a key. What are the things, Ranji? The first is what? Authentication type. What type of authentication you want to apply? On the interface or process? On the process or under interface? There is two types of authentication type. Or under interface or under the process. And second is a what? Key. Key. Authentication. Authentication. Key. Key and types. Two things, okay, don't forget it. Authentication type means how you want to authenticate with your neighbors. Second is the what key you want to use. Authentication type, you can authenticate, you can enable the authentication in the two places of the OSPF. The first is the OSPF process. OSPF under the OSPF what? Process. Second is the OSPF what? Interface. But authentication always set under the what? Interface. Okay. Authentication key is always set on the what? Interface, not process. The authentication type or methods can be choose either an OSPF process or either an OS interface. But authentication key always set under the interface. Don't forget it. Always set under the interface, not under process. And there is a two types of authentication. First is what? Plain authentication, plain text authentication. Second is what? MD5 what? Authentication. Plain text means authentication without encryption. Okay, the MD5 means allow the encryption. Three types of authentications. OSPF understand authentication three types. Three different types. The first is type 0, second is the type 1, and third is type 2. What are the differences between the type 0, type 1 and type 2? Type 0 is the default authentications. By default, OSPF needs the match the some of the things, some of the what? Identifications. Like if the your OSPF router belongs to area 0, then other router should be also area 0. If your router is using the one type of subnet, then your remote OSPF router also should be used the same type of the subnet match. Okay, if there is area flags on your router, then other router also should be there under the same area flags. Area flag means stubby or NSSA. NSSA or stubby, special type. If R1 is an NSSA, then R2 also should be under the NSSA type. These are also authentication or type of authentications. Okay, those type of the authentication process is normally put under the type 0. Okay, how this is possible? Let me show you the one thing. Where is my pen? Oh. See here in the topology. As I already discussed this thing yesterday also, I want to recall the yesterday classes. This interface IP address must be matched with this interface IP address classes and subnet, right? This is also a type of authentication. To successfully be the neighbor of R1 to R2 and R2 to R1, subnet mask should be the same. Number 1, authentication. Number 2 is area ID must be matched. Number 3, authentication also match. Number 4, area fact also match. Hello time and date time also match. These are the huge information should be the match between the R1 and R2. If those things are matched between the R and R2, then they can become the neighbors. They can establish the neighbors. Otherwise, they can't. This is also authentication. And this authentication is called the type 0 authentication in the OSPF. Clear? After this, second authentication type is type 1. The type 1 is authentication without the encryption is called the type 1 authentication. Type 2 means authentication with the encryption is type 2 authentication. Simple. So let's go on the topology. Okay, notepad, sorry. It's my notepad. Type 0 is already there. It's the default authentications. This one type 1, right? Here in the type 1, I am going to use the different authentications. How to? Let me choose the different type of authentication. Let me pick up the red. Red is already there. Black. Okay. Let's assign the specific authentication between the R and R2 is plain text authentication. What type of authentication? Plain text. Plain text. Clear? With the what? Process level. Here also plain text, but what? Interface level. Under interface types authentication. Here interface level with what? MD5. Means your authentications types, authentications method, authentications key only be valid from your interface to your neighbor interface, not other interface, right? If there is a authentication key between the R2 and R1 is different, then that key doesn't matter to R2 to R3 peering, because the link is different, format is different, and direction is different to reach the R3. So this interface key is only will be the valid with this interface. Clear logic? So let's use the plain text authentication process table between the R and R3. One is this one, so S/0 process table, right? Router OSPF what? 1 area 0 authentication. Samiksha, see here. Router OSPF 1 means under the OSPF process, right? It's process of authentication. Area 0 means I belongs to area 0, my neighbor also belongs to area 0, and I want to get the authentications now. It's a type 1 authentication under the process. And if you want to change the key, if you want to exchange the key, then you have to go on under the interface. So let's go on the interface. Interface S0/0, F0/0, IP OSPF authentication key 1 and Nepal 123 is a key. The first is what type of authentication you want to apply, either of the plain text or what MD5, and second is the key. The neighbor is expired, the date time is expired. Why? Because the R3 coder understands actually what are the things, what is the things are sending me. He is going to be mismatched with the R1's OSPF package. R1 sending the OSPF package with the authentication information. R3 is not able to decode that authentication key or that authentication method in that packet. To able to decode, to make the R3 to able to decode that authentication key, they want to do, we have to set the authentication on the R2 side also, sorry, R3 side also. But one thing, the type authentication should be the match. Same type authentication you have to apply on the R2, sorry, R3. Same process table, same key also should be the same, okay, and method of authentication should be the same. How to apply? Do same thing on the R2 side, sorry, R3 side. Duplicate. But you have to choose the correct interface, right? If you choose the different interface, it will not work, right? So, what is the interface? To connect the R1 is F0/0. Don't apply here this side, right? Or this side. Any packet sending from this interface only be cached by this interface, not this interface, not this interface. R3 router OSPF 1 area 0 means I belong to area 0 authentication. Interface same to same F0/0 IP OSPF authentication key 1 Nepal what? 1 2 3. You can check the authentication also. This way, do to IP what? Do to IP OSPF what? Interface F0/0. Student IP. Clear? Simple passport authentication is what? Enabled. And this is the backup DR out. I have the neighborship with the what? 14.1, 301. Why the neighborship not showing on R2? With R2? Why is it expired? Oh, sorry, I forgot the one thing, okay? Extremely sorry to say, this all belongs to with the same what? Area. It means we cannot apply the different type of authentication, okay? Because all of the router belongs to from the what? Same type area. It means we have to apply on the all interface, same type of authentication method, same key to get the neighborship to the all the routers. Clear? You can do different type of authentications if the area is different. Because I have already clearly told you, okay, to become the neighborship of a particular area, that area's ID and my area ID should be matched, right? Authentication should be the match. Area flag should be the match. Sovereign mask should be the match. The sovereign mask depend on the point to point, no problem for sovereign mask. Because those type of information normally keep on the OSPF hello packet. If the hello packet not understood by the other routers, then how can the neighborship can establish? That is the point. So what to do? I have to do, on all the routers, I have to enable the same type of the what? Authentication methods. Clear? So what to do? Go on the R3, do same thing, interface S0/0, IP OSPF authentication key, step around the 3, go on R2, do same thing, router OSPF 1, router OSPF 1, okay, area 0, authentication, interface S0/0, IP OSPF authentication, what, key 1 Nepal 123, and do the same thing for interface S0/1, that is the Nepal 123 key. You go on R1, do same thing, interface S0/0, IP OSPF authentication, key 1 Nepal 123, interface F0/0, IP OSPF authentication key Nepal 123. Now neighborship should be the established. Let's check from the article. So IP OSPF neighborship. Clear, Asmita? Because all of the routers belongs from the same area, IT. It means they are the family from the same area. Type 1, process level. Let's use the type 2, process level samiksha. Do same thing. In router OSPF 1, clear? No, by the no. Area 0, authentication, message digest. Type 2, this is type 2. Interface S0/0, IP OSPF authentication, IP OSPF message digest, key 1, and then after MD5 Nepal 123. Remove the old one. Why is the old one? This is the old one. Do same thing on the other routers. Go on the router 2. Same thing. Router OSPF 1, and then after no area 0 authentication. Okay. Area 0 authentication, message digest, interface S0/0. Remove that old one and do same thing. IP OSPF 1 OSPF authentication. Okay, message digest P1, and then after MD5 Nepal 123. Message digest B1 and B5 Nepal 123. Do an R1, do same thing. Clear? This is the process table authentication type 2. Interface table is very easy. Okay, same as like process table. No more difference. No big differences. How you can apply the interface table? Simple. You have to do everything under the interface. Do not go on the process. Simple. Interface S0/0. IP OSPF what? Authentication. IP OSPF what? Authentication. G1 Nepal unnecessary. This is a what? Plain text authentication of the interface level. Clear? The message digest what? IP OSPF authentication message digest. IP OSPF message digest D1 and D5 system. Do same thing on all the interface in the area. Don't do on the loopback, okay? Because loopback is not going to peering with the other network. Don't need to enable the authentication in the loopback. Authentication is knockout. Now the thing is what? Still one thing is the alert. The second thing is configuring authentication on what? Virtual link. What? Virtual links. Virtual links. The virtual link is a technique in the OSPF allow you to ability to links your remote OSPF area with your backbone area. Let's show you the topology here. In my topology is this. This is area 0. And this is area what? 4. Area 4 is connected with the backbone area, right? It means no need the virtual link for the area 4. Different area must be connected with the backbone area. Backbone area is a mother area. Mother area. To go other area. If I want to go another area, for example, this is area 45. If I want to go on this area 0 or this different area, then I must be the member of the area 0. Means I must be the touch with the area 0 to access the other area informations. Why? By default, all the other areas, normally root and all of the LSA, normally set by the or hold by the OSPF area 0, not other area. So to access the all of the other resources and the OSPF topology, I must be the member of the area 0. It means this can be the access the all of the OSPF area because he is the connected with the area 0 routers. But this routers is not connected with the area 0 routers. So what I can do? I have to create the virtual link from R3 to R4 and R4 to R3. If I create the virtual link between the R3 to R4, R4 R3, then the connection of the area 0 or area 0 normally space normally reach up to the R4. Means area 0 will be reached up to the R4. Then if the area 0 comes on the R4, then this area also will be the member of the area 0. This area also will be the member of the area 0. This is called the virtual link. Virtual link is one of the techniques. Allow you to your isolated area into the join in the area 0 or backbone area. Clear, Kanji? Any doubt? That type of virtual link you can create by the two methods. Two techniques. The first is simple virtual links. Second is the GRE. In some cases, for example, here is the different protocols is here. For example, let's create the hypothesis scenarios. Here is a different protocol. For example, here is a EIJP protocol. Then I cannot create the virtual link between the R3 and R4. What to do? But I can create, still I can get one of the links. That link is called the GRE between the R3 and R4. And after successfully creating the GRE between the R3 and R4, what I can do? I can advertise the GRE into the area 0, and other side also I can advertise the GRE into the area 0. That means area 0 will come up to here. Let's say this is different area, for example, different routing protocol. This is for example static routing protocol. Sorry, static routings between the R3 and R4. Then I cannot create the virtual link between the R3 and R4 directly. To create the virtual link between the R3 and R4, this both route also should be the on the OSPF networks. Normally area 0 should be connected with the area 0. But we are connecting the static routing. That means there is no chances to get the touch with the area 0. How I can join this area with the area 0? I cannot join. I cannot touch the area 0. I cannot create the relationship with the area 0 for this area. For that, what we can do? We can create the GRE tunnel from here to here, and this GRE tunnel can be advertised into area 0, and this side also we can advertise the GRE tunnel is area 0, and then after automatically this area will become here. So sometimes the GRE tunneling, virtualing is important in some cases. If there is nothing is there between my area and area 0, simple OSPF area is there, then no need to create the GRE tunnels for the virtual links. Clear? But if there is a different protocol like BGP, if there is a different protocol like a READ, then I cannot create the virtual links between the R3 and R4. For that, what I have to do? I have to create the GRE tunnel from here to here, and I should advertise that GRE tunnels interface on area 0, this side also, this side also. Then automatically area 45 will become on the area 0. Clear? Understood? This is the reasons to create the GRE tunnels, to bring down your isolated area in your backbone area or area 0 or mother area. Okay, clear? This is the reasons. Okay, clear? For example, here is the CNA, right? For example, here is one more outage here, Aspita. This OSPF, for example, area 18. But here is different protocols. I cannot create the virtual links from R1 to R7. In this type of the situation, we can create the virtual links. Why? Because of the R3 and R4 also belongs to the OSPF routing protocol, as well as they are connected with the area 0. In this situation, we can create the virtual link, right? But here we cannot create a virtual link because there is a different protocol here. You will not understand actually what links showing me he is doing me. Or there is no option in the EIJP to create the virtual link command. EIJP will not understand your virtual link command. OSPF can understand. For this, what to do, Samiksha? Create the one of the GRE tunnel from here to here up to here, and advertise the GRE tunnel into area 0, and automatically this area will come under your area 0 networks or area. Clear, Khalid? It means anybody can come here, anybody can create the GRE tunnels from here to here, and anybody can come under the area 0. To blockage that type of the activities for the other router, for other guys, what we can do, we can set the authentications. in the GRE also and as well as in the virtualing also. Okay. Okay. Today is this much.